Alright, so in this video I want to go over creating quests, and to do that I'm going to open my dialog editor and I'm going to click on the quests/items tab here, and I'm going to click the plus button to make a new quest, and I'm going to call this quest, well, so this first quest I want to make is going to be kind of like an overarching quest that just will stay with the player for the whole experience and kind of frame the backstory and things like that. So I'm going to call this one Dead Reckoning, which is like an homage to Land of the Dead and a more of like a reference, I guess. It's not an homage really. And then it's also a play on the like what Dead Reckoning means, which is kind of about navigation from point to point, and that's going to be the kind of the point of my story, is to escape this place in a car. And I'm going to call it, I'm going to give it a description. So in the description I'm going to kind of frame the scenario in case the player forgets what's going on, and kind of give them a little bit of context about like what they should be doing overall, what their overall goal is. So I tried to paste this in from OneNote and it did not work. I do recommend typing your dialogue somewhere where there's spell checking and then pasting it in, but if you get weird formatting like this, you can go into this part and fix it up. So it's hard to see everything there, but if you click in the inspector window, you have like a better view of the whole collection of text. All right, so there's my description. And you might also notice, if you're looking in the inspector, there's a bunch of other properties here that you could use, but let's not worry about those too much just yet. And the other thing I want to do, so I've got this overarching quest, but I also then want to have like sub-quests that kind of tell the player what to do each step of the way, like one at a time in a sequence based on their actions. And there's a couple ways you could do that. One way, if you look here, there's a thing called has entries/subtasks, and you could use that feature and then define quest entries that would then be updated as you go. But I kind of want to leave this here, and I'm going to show you how to get the quest log up and running, and I want to be able to show things being completed. So rather than just having this like one big quest that has many subtasks that never gets completed until the very, very end, I would rather have these smaller bits of quests that actually do get completed, and then it actually is easier. It's going to be easier for the player to kind of see what they've done and remember what they've accomplished, while leaving this one up to remember the big picture simultaneously. So anyway, I'm going to add a new quest, and it's going to be called, what do I want to call this? Something about talking to all the other players. So or all the other characters, sorry. Situation at hand. That's what we'll call it, I guess. And I should probably decide whether I want this to be like title case, or how I just however I capitalize things, I want to do it consistently, basically. So since I capitalized both of those, I'll capitalize this too. And then in the description here, it's basically going to be like, talk to the other survivors and learn about the situation at hand. Just to kind of help the player understand, okay, well, this is what you should be doing specifically. This is the big picture. All right. And the next thing, if I want to be able to see these in the game at all, I have to set something up called a quest log, and Dialog System has an implementation of that we can use. So I'm going to go back to my scene window. I'm going to click on the dialog manager. I guess I didn't actually have to go to the scene window. I could have just left this open. Click on the dialog manager in the hierarchy, and down at the bottom of your dialog manager, I'm going to add a new component, and I'm going to find it. It's called the quest log window hotkey. So the dialog manager already has in the prefab section, if I can find that, I don't commonly look at this and I forget where things are. Oh, it's here in this instantiate prefabs script. It already has the quest log window thing set up, but what we need to do is add this, which allows us to specify a hotkey to open the quest log. And so J, I guess, is for journal. You see that a lot of times in games. We could use that. We could also use escape, maybe, is what I'll do, just because in many games you would have like escape would be like a pause menu, but in our game it's not really going to have much else besides the quest log. Anyway, I'll just leave it J, but you could pick whatever you wanted here. I may change mine to escape. We'll see how I feel. So I'm going to hit play. And if I hit J, it opens the quest journal. Doesn't look great. Maybe if we have time, I will show how to maybe spruce this up a little bit, because it's kind of an eyesore compared to the rest of my game, and I don't like having like default looking anything in something that I'm trying to use for a portfolio piece, as it kind of just looks lazy. Same thing with my dialogue. The dialogue UI itself looks similar to the quest log, and luckily there's some pre-made ones. We can just sub that out and it will look a lot better, but I don't think there's actually any pre-made quest logs that don't look very generic, so we might have to kind of make that one ourselves. Anyway, the problem is when I opened my log, it did not have anything in it. So I think I want a couple of these quests to be like active right off the bat. So I'm going to go back to my dialogue and my quests tab, and for each of these I'm going to find the state, and I'm going to change it from unassigned. Actually, I guess there's one right here you can pick. This is the same thing. It's just we could probably hide all fields if we wanted and just only deal with the simple version up here. And I'm going to make this one active right off the bat, and I'm going to make this one active right off the bat too, I think. And let's run the game and see how this looks when I open the quest log. And so now if I click on Dead Reckoning, yeah, see, this is horrible. I can't read that. It's like white on, or gray on gray. So we'll have to fix that. But I do get a list of my quests that are active. And I see this one that says Dead Reckoning. I see this one that says Situation at Hand. And if I go to completed quests, there's no completed quests. And you can see what I mean. If I just did this one quest with lots of little entries, I would never have anything in completed quests, which just kind of to me feels like, it makes me feel like I'm not making progress. So I'd rather, there's satisfaction to checking things off a list. So that's my thought process there. But either way is valid. Alright, so I got the quest log set up, and I got a couple of quests to kind of give the player some initial guidance. The next thing I want to do, I think, is make allow the player to complete some of these. So that's what we'll look at setting up in the next video.